everybody, it's Luke over at Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got a product from Carbinox. This is their X-Ranger stainless steel model in their lineup of rugged smartwatches. Now, as with all of their newer smartwatches, you can make and receive Bluetooth phone calls with this, as well as a ton of other things. If you are somebody that works in an industry where you work hard with your hands, like a mechanic or HVAC or truck driving or whatever it may be, you might want to check this one out from Carbinox. We're going to dig into it now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's do a quick unboxing here of the X-Ranger Stainless Steel Edition. There's also a X-Ranger Black Edition as well if you don't like the stainless steel look. You can see we've got Bluetooth calling technology here, so you can make and receive phone calls. You do have over 70 sports modes built in, 7 days of battery life per charge, health and fitness tracking, which we'll get into, and IP69K waterproofing as well. We'll put that to test a little bit later in the video. Now, the first thing we get here is going to be some documentation from Carbinox. So we'll take a quick look at this. The first thing that I do notice with this, other than the user manual, is that they do include a little screen protector here. If you do want to use that, you can. So it's nice that they at least give you one in the box. Now, you get a thank you from Carbinox card, as well as the X-Ranger user manual. Now, this is a user manual that is going to pretty much show you all of your button layouts. It's written in English. It's not micro print, so you're not going to have any problems reading this or anything like that. Just kind of showing you how to get things set up and get the app and move around basically the watch itself. There's a lot of good information in here. Hold on to it if you do need it. Now, they do give you a charging cradle here, and this is a magnetic pogo pin charging cradle for the X-Ranger. So let's get this out, show you exactly what this looks like. This is like your charging puck style here with dual pogo pins. It's magnetic, so it will just attach the watch directly to it by a magnet. And you do get this end here that is a USB Type A. Now, you can put this into any USB port on your laptop or your PC to charge up the battery in this, or you can use something like this, which is an AC to USB adapter that you may already have from your phone or tablet. And you can charge this up, and again, you'll get, with the 410 milliamp battery in this watch, up to 7 days per charge. Okay, so let's take a look at the watch itself here. Now, the watch itself is a round watch. It's the only round style watch that Carbinox currently has in their lineup. Stainless steel bezel and metal body. This weighs in at 100 grams, full metal construction. It is a 46 millimeter band. You do get one here. This is a silicone band. This is going to be perfect for an active person, but you can change these bands out as well, as you can see with the pins there. On the bottom, we do have a setup here for our health sensors. So you do have all your health sensors built in to the bottom, and those two pogo pins that magnetically clasp on to the charging puck, as you can see right here. Again, 410 milliamp battery, going to be lasting 7 to 10 days per charge. And this is IPX69K waterproofed, so you should be good to go. Overall, all metal construction except for that bottom plate there, and looks really, really nice and feels like it's got some nice quality weight to it. So that's the unboxing of the X-Ranger by Carbinox. Let's get into pairing and other features. Okay, so pairing this watch is pretty simple. You're going to want to download the Carbinox app. I have it for Android here. It's also available for iOS. And in the main device screen, you're going to see Add Device if you haven't already added a Carbinox watch before. So we're just going to click on Add Device. It's going to ask you for your app permissions, and you will have to confirm these on your phone. So it's going to ask for location information. I'm going to say while using the app, and then your connect and determine location. Again, no problems there. So it does pop up as the X-Ranger. As you can see, no problems here. Let's just click on the X-Ranger to start the pairing process. And you can see that it is connecting now. It immediately changed over my time and my date. And I'm going to get a few pop-ups here that come up. As we can see our battery life. There's a dial market here. So if we do want to change our dials, we can. And of course, there is my Bluetooth pairing request. I do want to pair that, of course. And then it'll ask me if I want my call history to be done as well. And this is just continuing the process of its initial pairing. This won't happen any other time, but now you can see we've got our dials here, and this is what I wanted to go over. There are a lot of dials in the dial market, so if you don't like the built-in ones that Carbinox offers, they offer a bunch more, a custom dial, other dials as well in this dial center is what they're calling it. So if I do like one that I see, I can add one to the watch very easily and very quickly by just selecting it and automatically transferring it to the watch itself. So I'm going to do that right now, and you're going to see this does take a few seconds, probably about 20 seconds or so to sync this up to the watch, but this gives you a lot of customization, something that I just wanted to mention. So there you go. Now I have my new watch face and I'm good to go. Now I just want to go through enabling Bluetooth call function here. You'll be able to see this. It'll ask you to go to set this. Now I already did this when it asked to pair mine automatically, but you may have to do this in iOS. I am not sure, but you can see I'm already connected for calls on the X-Ranger. So I'm good to go on Bluetooth calling. You can disable it as well if you don't want to do that. Now you also have heart rate monitoring here. So you can set your heart rate monitoring and a highest rate and a minimum rate, where it will alert you to let you know you're over your highest rate or minimum heart rates. Blood oxygen setting is pretty much the same. You can set it to auto, and you can set it to check for anywhere from 10 minutes all the way up to every 6 hours. So it can check your blood oxygen levels as well. Your call reminders, of course, you're going to want to turn those on and give it the appropriate permissions here. So it's going to ask for your contacts and managing phone calls, at least on Android. So you do have that. Your SMS reminders for text messages is going to be the same as well. So we're going to want it to allow that as well. You do have fast replies that you can turn on here for, setting up fixed replies, like I'll call you later or wait a minute, or some built-in ones as well. Now this is where you can go in and do push notifications for all of these apps that are built in, or you can go to select more apps and you can select other apps that are already installed on your phone. You also have a sedentary reminder, so if you want to be reminded to get up and take a break, you can set that on here as well, which is a useful thing to have, especially if you maybe work from home or something like that, and you need to be reminded to get up and move around. Raise hand to activate the display. That just means that as soon as I raise my hand, the display will come on for a determined period of time. You do have SOS calls here, where you can add a contact to be your emergency contact, and you do have some firmware upgrades and clearing data, as well as unbinding it from the app, and some universal settings here where we can do some remote photo taking, and this is interesting as well. You'll have to give it the permissions, of course, but once you do, This is great because now I can use this as a remote Bluetooth shutter for my phone's camera. So if I just want to bring something in and then I want to click to take the photo, it'll give a countdown here, and then what it will do is snap off a picture for me. So very easy to use as a Bluetooth remote shutter button there. Finding your bracelet is basically going to queue up your watch so that you can find it if you maybe leave it, in the couch cushions or something like that. And we can also do the reverse by going into Toolbox, and then we can do Find Phone, and you'll see that I get a notification on my phone, and it is vibrating since I have it in Do Not Disturb, that I am looking for my phone as well. Now we can also go into units here and change things from centimeters to kilometers, feet and miles, kilograms and pounds, and Fahrenheit and Celsius, depending on where you live. You do have your device language here as well, where you can switch between all of these languages or just follow the system, which I have mine set to. Okay, so that was the app, but let's just go over the basic functions of the watch itself. When we swipe down, we get a quick menu here that'll allow us to mute the phone. We can ring our phone with the middle button here, so this will actually ring my phone right from this quick toggle, which is really nice. Again, I can go down and swipe that off just to make sure that that turns off, and we're good to go. So we also have our brightness here, our battery life, and a lock button, which is really nice as well. So now if I try to do anything, it'll say it's locked. I need to hold down the power button to unlock the screen. And we have our settings here, and this is going to be watch faces and themes, which I've already kind of shown you through the app, a date and time, sport recognition, brightness, and this does get pretty bright. Now the display duration can be changed from 5 seconds to 60 seconds, and you can see how bright this gets, so outdoor use will not be a problem on the X-Ranger as well. We also have sound and vibration, where we can turn on media audio. Our vibration strength we can change. We can change and put it in silent mode if we want to as well. So you do have that option if you do want to put it in silent. Raise to wake, which I already showed you a little bit earlier. And of course, we can enable that or disable that here. Put in Do Not Disturb. Downloading the app, and we have system and info here. System, we can reboot, we can turn it off, and we can reset the watch, and we are good to go. So those are the things that you can do here. We also have that Do Not Disturb and brightness toggle, which I already showed you, and you've got all these quick toggles here, and they're very helpful and easy to use. Now swiping up will show you any text messages or app notifications that you get. I currently don't have any in here, but it's nice to have that available. Now swiping right is going to bring us into our tiles here, like our sleep, our activity, and of course our sensors, which is our heart rate. And I do want to test this against an SpO2 sensor so we can see how accurate this is. So let's take a quick look and see just how accurate these sensors are on this particular watch. Okay, so you can see that we're averaging about 74, 75 beats, 77 on the right-hand side, and we're at about 77 on the left-hand side. So the watch pretty much is right there in line with my SpO2 and maybe off a beat or two. Now we do want to check our SpO2 as well because that is also something that you can track here with this watch. Currently mine is 98%, as you see on the right hand side, and now this on the watch also says 98%, so it tracks my SpO2 very well. Now we also can track our heart in a different way with blood pressure. So if we want to check out our blood pressure here, this will take just a little while to come up. We'll see what numbers this comes up with, but you can see it takes a little bit longer to estimate your blood pressure versus the SpO2 or the heart rate. So giving it just a few more seconds, it should pop up on the screen here, and we'll get my blood pressure. And I'll let you know that this came pretty darn close to what I normally currently am at. So the blood pressure that this comes up with is about 124/80 at the moment, and I'm usually right around that 120/80 mark. So again, using this for spot checking your blood pressure is a good thing. If you get a high reading, then you can always back it up by checking with another device. Now we do get our weather here, all of our modes. There are over 70 different sports modes, from walking, baseball, volleyball, swimming, everything that you can think of here. They've pretty much got in here and ready to go. So that's pretty nice that we have that set up as well. Starting one will give you a countdown, and then you'll get, your heart rate, your pace, your distance, all of your normal sports stuff that you need, your calories and your steps. Now, if we go over again, we've got a way to pause this and control our music while we're doing our workouts. Now, speaking of controlling music, we can swipe over again, and if I want to play something on my phone, I can totally control that from the watch itself as well. So this works out really, really nicely. So if we just want to start playing an album here, and we'll start playing it, and then I can forward tracks, reverse tracks, pause and play right here from the watch. As you can see, no problems controlling music here from the watch. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is making phone calls. Again, swiping over again, I can easily have this tile here for calling. It'll have my contacts, my call history, and I can just bring up a dial as well. So if I just want to dial a number and call, I can either select it from my contacts or just manually dial it right here. So I'm just going to dial a quick number and give you guys an idea of what it is like to use this watch for calling. Is this up?
Hello, and please listen carefully as our menu options may have changed. Calls are recorded for quality assurance. Oprima 9 para española.
So there you go. That's Bluetooth calling on the X-Ranger, and it sounds really good. The microphone works well, and the speaker on the actual watch itself is nice and loud and clear. So overall, no problems with Bluetooth calls. The last thing I did want to show you is that if you swipe to the right, you can access everything here, from sleep to workouts, blood pressure, everything on the watch. Every app that is installed is here, including Voice Assistant, which I'll get to in just a moment. We do have a tool box here that has your stopwatch, timer, a flashlight, which may come in handy, finding your phone, which we saw earlier, remote camera, and it even has a built-in calculator to help you out with some quick calculations. Now, I do want to show you the Voice Assistant. This will just automatically select my Voice Assistant on my phone and allow me to access it from the watch. Hello.
Hi, happy Native American Heritage Month.
So you can see there's a ton of different features with the X-Ranger, and they all work very seamlessly through the app itself. I do want to test this waterproofing that the X-Ranger has, IP69K, so it should be able to withstand water for quite some time, but we're going to do a quick 5-minute test real quick, and we'll be back to check it out when it's done. Okay, so we're back, and it's been a little over 5 minutes submerged in water. So let's take out the X-Ranger here and see how it did on my water test. I don't think it's going to have any problems. I've tested other watches from Carbinox, and they have all withstood the water test. But let's just double check. We're going to get a towel here. I'll wipe it down, make sure that all the buttons and the screen and everything is working with the X-Ranger. So having a durable, rugged smartwatch like this will come in handy for anybody that is going to be in more of extreme conditions. And as you can see here, the screen is working just fine. The buttons, swiping left and right, up and down, no problems whatsoever. I really can't tell any difference in this water test that we've done here. It's passed with flying colors, so we don't really have any problems after the water test. As far as a durability test goes, I like to take a 10-pound weight and drop it on the screen of the watch to see how it handles direct damage. And this is just an indicator here. You can see no problems with the bezel. This is all made out of metal, so I expect it to do fairly well here on the weight drop test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 10-pound weight, I'm going to raise it up, and we're going to drop it directly on the face of the watch and see if there is any damage afterwards. Okay, so that's the drop test. You can see that we bounced Doctor Strange into another part of the multiverse. Let's take a look at damage here. There may be a little bit of a scratch on the housing here, but that was a direct drop. No problems with the screen, though. The screen itself was protected by the bezel and didn't have any problems here. No cracks, no scratches on the screen. The screen works 100%, so I'm going to have to give this a pass on our drop test as well. The X-Ranger held up pretty good. There is one tiny little scratch there at the top of the bezel, but nothing major. So overall, I'm definitely going to have to call this a win for the drop test. Okay, so that's my review of the X-Ranger from Carbinox. Again, if you're looking for a more traditional looking watch with the rounded face, the X-Ranger definitely stands out as more of your traditional looking watch. It's got a ton of smart features, including all of your sports modes, your health tracking, and of course the durability is going to be great for anybody that works in an industry where you use your hands a lot, like HVAC or mechanic or construction working, or there are just so many options. This is a truly rugged smartwatch that has a ton of features, a solid battery life, and a great build quality from Carbinox. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll check you guys out on the next one.